Good morning, everyone. Andrew Douglas here in the Action News 5 digital desk. Welcome. It is 9:01 on this beautiful Wednesday, and that is a live look from our High Five camera there in downtown Memphis, where it is a comfortable 59 degrees as you get going on this Wednesday. We're expecting temperatures in the 80s today. We'll be talking much more about the forecast coming up in just a little bit. But first, what we like to do here on the Action News 5 digital desk, every so often we have various mayors from across the Mid-South join us on the digital desk. And this morning we are joined by Collierville Mayor Maureen Frazier as she joins us each and every month here on the digital desk. So Maureen, tell us what's going on with you and the town of Collierville. I know some of the news we had this morning had to deal with the Chick-fil-A. Can you bring us up to speed on that? Good morning.
Good morning, Andrew. How much time do we have? We could talk about Chick-fil-A for an hour, all day if you wanted, but where we are with the Chick-fil-A, the current Chick-fil-A was through the property owner was going to be wanting to relocate off of Bray Station and Poplar Avenue. And this past week on Monday night, the majority of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen voted to appeal the decision by the judge. So the property owner, Bob Cartwright, sued the town of Collierville from a decision that was back in January of 2024. And that decision was a preliminary site plan for a new Chick-fil-A. And that was denied 5-1. And I was the one who voted to support it at that time. So the property owner, I'm giving you a quick summary. The property owner sued the town. It went to a judge. The judge ruled that the town of Collierville had to approve the preliminary site plan without any debate or deliberation. So we got that sometime in the end of February, and we had put the item on the agenda. Then we pulled it on the agenda for more time. And this past Monday night, the majority, 5-1, again voted to appeal the judge's ruling. So my understanding now, it's legal. I can't really offer any of the details, but it goes to the Western District Court in Jackson. And I believe there's 3 judges that will look at the evidence and then determine if that judge's ruling was correct or incorrect. So everything is still on hold with Chick-fil-A.
I gotcha. I appreciate you breaking it down for us. Thank you. One final thing, any timetable on when those judges could rule on the appeal?
I don't have any idea. Our attorney said it could be hopefully before the end of the year, but I don't know.
Okay. All right. Moving on. I understand that Collierville police report the lowest crime in the town in more than 20 years. Tell me that. Tell me more about that.
Yes, they sure did. They did a post yesterday talking about the lowest crime levels in Collierville since 2004. And we've seen a 22% drop in crime since 2018. And, I think we're fully staffed. Our officers work really, really hard. And, we're getting the criminals. A lot of times people think, why do we have so many traffic stops? Well, a routine traffic stop is usually what causes other crimes, catching people doing the other crimes. So our police department, and, I always say, you're in Collierville because you usually get welcomed by a police officer in the car welcoming you in.
Yes, and I've always been told by law enforcement that there is no such thing as a routine traffic stop because so many things could happen on any given day, any time of the year. It oftentimes could be a dangerous situation. You never know. But
it could. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, sometimes you have a traffic, a tail light that's out. Okay. So somebody gets pulled over for that, and then it turns into other things. They might find, stolen weapons. They might find drugs. You just never know. So what is routine may not be routine. You're exactly correct.
Talk to me about this dispatch and what this project was and where it is now.
Yes, it's almost done, actually. It's over at Fire Station number 4 at Houston Levee. And with totally funded by the Shelby County 911 board, we were able to fund a backup dispatch center. So if something would happen in Collierville, we would have a backup in another location of Collierville to make sure all the equipment's exactly the same as what all of our dispatchers are used to currently. And it's just in a separate location. So it's keeping us up on the technology and keeping our community safe and our response times to be very quick.
Great to hear. Collierville Americana Showcase. I understand you have
Yes.
a few updates on that.
Oh, there's a whole lot of wonderful, you can know spring is here when there's all these activities in Collierville, but the America 250 Showcase is going to be the weekend of April 22nd and through the 25th. And everyone's celebrating America 250, but Collierville's going to celebrate 250 years through song. And there will be free concerts. There's going to be a bluegrass jam on Friday night. And we're adding in our sanctuary on the square storytelling. And in that same weekend, again, April 22nd, 23rd through 25th, there will also be a community sidewalk sale. So there's going to be a whole lot of fun things going on that weekend, and it'll all be tied to the anniversary of America 250.
That sounds fantastic. I remember you mentioning it one of the previous interviews that we did here on the Digital Desk. What else do you have for us, Maureen?
Well, this weekend, Main Street Collierville is having the Hop and Shop. So that will be on the town square. You can get photos, free photos with our Easter Bunny. And the VFW Post 5066 is hosting a free dinner for Vietnam veterans. And you don't have to be a member of the VFW, you just can show up and get a free dinner. And our tourism division is working with the Tennessee Shakespeare Company, and there is a free show on the town square this Saturday, Romeo and Juliet. So what a great night that would be. You need to come out, Andrew.
I do. Okay, well, listen, Maureen, can we give the email, not the web address for some people some of the things that you mentioned that are there for everyone to look at?
Yeah, everything is on our Collierville page. It's colliervilletn.gov. And there's links to everything we have going on.
Perfect. All right. Collierville Mayor Maureen Frazier joining us as she does each and every month here on the Action News 5 Digital Desk. Thanks for breaking it down for us, all the news, notes, and events in the town of Collierville, Maureen. We appreciate it.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
You got it. All right. Another live look from our High Five camera as we go to break on this Wednesday. A beautiful day today and the rest of the week. We'll talk about your forecast in 1 minute. Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. That is a shot from our downtown High Five camera, a comfortable 63 degrees, 10 minutes after 9 o'clock on this Wednesday. Here's another shot from our Midtown High Five camera. You could see the East Memphis towers there, Clark Tower and the iBank building off in the distance. We'll be talking more about the forecast that includes lots of sunshine and a high of around 80 degrees today. We'll be talking much more about that later on the Action News 5 Digital Desk, but I do want to get to some of the top stories that we are following at this hour. And we begin with a shooting that happened at Tomley Park yesterday. One woman is recovering. Turns out that woman is a 17-year-old after a shooting that happened yesterday afternoon in Tomley Park. Officers responded 3:30. They took 2 people into custody. This area around Tomley has since reopened, and there's much more debate after a few days of crime in downtown Memphis. The city leaders are trying to figure out ways to tackle youth crime. They say the solution goes beyond the city just putting a few rules, a curfew. Memphis Mayor Paul Young said a curfew would bring some challenges. It is an option. Police Chief C.J. Davis met with the Memphis City Council yesterday, saying detecting youth crime isn't necessarily all that easy. There are challenges when it comes to implementations. Chief Davis confirmed that arrests were made in both of the weekend shootings there. At President Trump's roundtable in Memphis on Monday, a Memphis business owner says the city's crime crackdown is making a big difference for his family's company. Tim Pugh, the owner of Pugh's Flowers, told the president that his delivery vans have been stolen, his landscaping crews have been robbed, and his equipment has been taken in the years past. He says those crimes are now less of a concern, and he credits the Memphis Safe Task Force for the change. There are 4 Pugh Flowers locations all across the Mid-South, including one in South Haven. 1 week after a former Collierville Middle School girls basketball coach was arrested in a Homeland Security investigation, the school district is speaking out about that arrest. Collierville schools say this man, Starry Taylor, worked as a non-faculty head coach at Collierville Middle from 2021 to 26, and that his coaching duties ended in early February before his March 13th arrest. The school district says it conducts criminal background checks on all non-faculty coaches at the time of hire. Starry Taylor posted an $85,000 bond. He returns to court on April 20th. The former East Memphis gynecologist federally convicted of reusing single-use medical devices and healthcare fraud could get a new trial. Dr. Sanjeev Kumar will be back in court April 9th on what's called a Remmer hearing. That's a court proceeding that determines whether there was external influence over the jury. Kumar's attorney filed for a new trial, citing press coverage and insufficient evidence. His sentencing was pushed back 2 weeks after the Remmer hearing. FedEx is now offering a same-day delivery service in partnership with the last-mile delivery firm OneRail. Customers can choose between specific delivery time frames, including 2-hour windows or end-of-day arrival. The Memphis-based shipping giant is the latest company to join the race for faster shipping as customers demand quicker order fulfillment. You could still take MATA for free all the way through Memphis in May International Festival. The agency announcing it is extending the Zero Fare pilot program by 90 days. The program launched in November to provide MATA with insight about how free fares would impact ridership. Since then, MATA says the number of riders have gone up 25%. The agency extended the program an extra 45 days in February, and now it has been extended a second time. A Memphis-based company is investing over $11 million in Memphis. Morgan Steel was founded in Memphis in 2014 with 18 employees. It's now buying a new facility on Pierce Street to expand its headquarters. It will be closer to the company's prime powder coating location. After the expansion, it'll have more than 400 employees in both Memphis and in Texas. This year marks 58 years since the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated in Memphis, and the National Civil Rights Museum is holding a commemoration weekend. Friday, April 2nd, there will be a discussion about the book Martyrs of the Unspeakable, the assassinations of JFK, Malcolm X, Dr. King, and RFK. Saturday, there will be an economic justice forum. Sunday, on April 4th, there will be a ceremony at the balcony of the Lorraine Motel where Dr. King was killed. All events are free and open to the public. To baseball now, where the Memphis Tiger baseball team got a big win at home over the Ole Miss Rebels. Memphis broke through in the fourth with Tyler Harrington driving in with a base hit to give the Tigers a lead. An inning later, Cade Hidson added a 2-run homer to the right, and then in the eighth, Michael Gupton goes yard, his 7th of the season, to put it away. Memphis picked up a statement win over 18th-ranked Ole Miss, 6-2. They now look to their weekend series coming up against Wichita State. Action News 5 has announced it will air 36 Memphis Redbirds games right here on the Mid-South Sports and Entertainment Network, digital channel 5.3 or channel 907 on Xfinity. This is a media partnership between the Redbirds, Gray Media, our parent company. The first game is Wednesday, April 1st at noon against the Norfolk Tides.
You can stay. Wow. You should let me love you. I'm gonna be the one to give you everything you want and need. Yeah.
Memphis had a big night on The Voice this week. Both Houston Kelly and KJ Willis won their battles on NBC's hit competition on Monday. Willis defeated team legend teammate Mike Steele on Mario's Let Me Love You, while Kelly topped Team Kelly's Tia Durant with Chris Stapleton's Either Way. Both artists are still alive in the competition, and we all could not be more proud. Another live look from our High Five camera downtown. We're going to take a short break. We're back in 60 seconds on Action News 5's Digital Desk. To find that we are back once again in the spring season. I got Wyatt Peterson joining me on the Action News 5 Digital Desk. He's the greenhouse manager at Memphis Botanic Garden. A very, very important job there at Memphis Botanic Garden. How's it going over there, Wyatt? Good morning.
Oh, it's going great. Good morning. This weather we've had recently is just outstanding. I mean, the blooms we've had, it's been a great few days here at the garden. Everything's really waking up and popping out. We're getting ready for this plant sale. We're very excited about it. So yeah, I'm going to go over a couple plants we have here, if you don't mind.
Awesome. Go for it.
So this is our old-fashioned bleeding hearts. It's putting on a show. I wanted to bring it out. I mean, look at these blooms. They hang upside down. They go along this here branch. A great show every year. It's a perennial, so you put it in the ground once and it always comes back. And that's like a part sun, part shade kind of plant. Now this is a full sun. This is our creeping phlox. It's also putting on a show for us. This thing, very tough plant. Put it in the ground, it's going to creep. It's going to fill up your garden. These beautiful blooms every year. So those are two things I'm pretty excited about. But we've also got a new event coming up as part of the plant sale, if you don't mind me going over that real quick.
Let's hear it, bro.
So we've got the preview party. So this is new. It is a 21 plus early access ticketed event. So that is going to be April 15th. That is 5 to 8 p.m. Like I said, you can, it's early access. Tickets are $25 for non-members and $20 for members. You get a cocktail, get to come in and browse the evening before the plant sales really start, and get early access to all of your favorite selection. So that's something we're really excited about. That's a Wednesday evening.
So let me ask you this, because my understanding is that the spring plant sale for members only is on April 10th, and then it's open to the public April 11th and 12th from 9 until 4. Is that accurate? And again, tell me about the April 15th event.
Here, I'll go over. That's not accurate, but that's okay. I'll go over what we've got this year. So April 15th, 5 to 8 p.m. is the preview party. We've got April 16th, 12 to 6 p.m. April 17th, 10 to 6 p.m. and 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and April 18th, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Okay. Appreciate that. You're giving us the accurate dates there, so I appreciate that. Now, tell me, some of these pictures here that we got. This is from last year or previous years, right?
Yes, that's correct. And people are having a good time there and picking up their plants. You know, one thing that I really like about this plant sale that we offer here is that, community members in Memphis can come in. They can talk to our horticulturists. Our horticulturists have selected this plant palette, everything being sold. It's stuff that works here in this region. And as you know, this is a tough region for some plants. We get some extreme weather. It's untimely weather, and it is very extreme. So we're selecting plants that won't fail. They will work for you. They work in this region, and they put on a great show for you. And more importantly, they fit into the Memphis palette. We have a beautiful city. We have a great canopy. We always have awesome azalea blooms everywhere. This stuff will fit into your lawn. It will look right. It will complement everything, and it will help the ecosystem, and it will help the neighborhoods be more beautiful.
I love that. I love that a lot, Wyatt. And again, I just want to push to your website to go over the different dates and how much things cost in order to go. There's a cost associated to the spring plant sale, is there not?
There's a cost associated to the preview party. The preview party, again, is April 15th. It's 5 to 8 p.m. It is $20 for MBG members and $25 for non-members. And that's exclusive early access to all of our selections.
Gotcha. And the 16th, 17th, and 18th, is there a cost there?
No, not at all. Please,
okay.
Please come. Come for free. Yeah.
Okay. And once again, give us the website so everybody knows.
mbg.org is our main website. That's actually it's membg.org, and you can learn more about our plant sales, our dates, and all other upcoming events here at the garden. And I just want to say that everybody's patronage at this garden, it supports everything we do here, and we're really trying to grow a more beautiful Memphis. So all of your support, we really appreciate it, and it helps us very much. It helps the city.
No question about it. One more thing, Wyatt, that I think gets overlooked a lot of times, and you just brought it up a moment ago, is the fact that there are experts there at the plant sale to kind of guide people on what would work best in any kind of setting in your garden, shade, lots of sun, that sort of thing, right?
Yes, sir. Our expert horticulturists will be here to answer any of your questions and help you pick out the right plants for your space.
Perfect. Wyatt Peterson, greenhouse manager at Memphis Botanic Garden, joining us on the Action News 5 digital desk, talking about the annual plant sale there next month in April. Well, of course, 15th is a preview, and then you got 16th, 17th, and 18th. You can go to what is it again? MBG, right?
MEMBG, yeah, MEMBG, like Memphis. MEMBG.org. It's kind of a mouthful.
I know. Yeah. It's a tough one. Yeah, it's a mouthful. Listen, Wyatt, thanks so much. We appreciate your time on the digital desk. Thank you. Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 digital desk. Dietitians, boy, they play such an important role when it comes to helping people understand the connection between food and nutrition and how it can impact our lives. Let's bring in our friend, our clinical dietitian for Regional One Health. We got Quinay Johnson joining us once again on the Action News 5 digital desk. Quinay, how are you this morning?
I'm doing well. Good morning, everyone. And nice to be back.
Yes. Always good to have you. So we know that there are a lot of processed foods, ultra processed foods, and the way that they are processed affects how healthy they are or how unhealthy they are, I guess you should say. Can you explain the difference between processed foods, what that means, ultra processed foods, and best practices to avoid them?
I like to think of processing as modification. So there's a scale when it comes to processed foods, and it can be subjective, but the things that are constant are minimally processed and ultra processed. Minimally processed or minimally altered food can be your apple, for an example. You pick it straight off the tree, that's as minimally processed as it can get, versus ultra processed foods. It can be like an applesauce that has corn syrup added to it to make it sweet and also has preservatives within it to make sure it lasts long on the shelf and doesn't make you sick, or apple juice with added sweeteners such as corn syrup.
That's good to know. That's a good distinction, Quine. Thank you. And food choices, it's so hard for so many people out there. I mean, price is obviously a factor for so many people out there because grocery store prices, as you know, I mean, they've gone through the roof over the last several years. How do we make good food choices? If you had to just kind of give people maybe 3 bullet points on how to make good food choices, what would you tell them?
I would say knowing how to read a food label and understanding ingredients within the list on the back of food can help you make better options. To limit the amount of ultra processed ingredients you consume could be a great place to start. Two, making things more convenient for you. For an example, investing into buying frozen foods or still buying fresh foods and having tools at home to make sure that it's a quicker process for you to have food available so that you can make healthier options is number two. And then three, again, preparation is best, but having like fresh fruits and vegetables to snack on to make sure that you're getting a lot of vitamins and minerals as best as possible and not being enticed to buy fast food because you don't have any fresh fruit available at home is a third way to make healthier choices.
Where do people make the biggest mistakes, Quine, when it comes to shopping at grocery stores?
Ooh, that's a great question. I believe the biggest mistake that can happen is to just not be intentional when it comes to going grocery shopping. So if you set time out before going to make a list and checking the boxes as to making sure that you have fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, lean meats, grains, and whole grains, and things of that nature before you go into the grocery store, that can help alleviate some of the issues when it comes to making mistakes at the grocery store. And then also going to the grocery store hungry. Don't do it because you're always going to impulsively buy something versus getting the things that you need to maintain a healthy lifestyle.
Oh, yeah, I've made that mistake plenty of times. And then I come home and I'm like, what is all this stuff? So, okay, let's talk about suggestions, easy ways, friendly reminders to make it easier to eat healthier each and every day.
One great way to make things easier for yourself is to, again, make a grocery list before you go to the grocery store. Buy things that you're more motivated to eat at home that are still healthy. For an example, I love pineapples. Pineapples, I believe, are in season right now, or apples. And having foods that are less processed or have less ingredients in them to complement those things. So I'm allergic to peanut butter, so I don't do that, but I do sunflower butter. That's something that I could pair with apples, and that's a great snack to have. Also, I'm trying to think of another way. Oh, buying frozen foods. That can be a cheap and also affordable way to get vegetables and fruits in that aren't as processed as per se your canned foods that have added salt in them, or for fruit, canned fruits with corn syrup added into them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's good. That's good. Let's talk about just, final question, just a main point you want people to remember when it comes to sticking to a healthy diet and how it affects our health.
The biggest thing that I want to be taken away from this is preparation saves a lot of heartache. If you go into something intentionally and have a game plan, you're more likely to succeed or win the game versus just going in willy-nilly, no practice, trying to be Michael Jordan.
Quinay Johnson has jokes on a Tuesday. Thank you, Quinay. I appreciate that. We always appreciate what you do as a clinical dietitian at Regional One Health. Thanks again for joining us on the Digital Desk.
Thank you so much, and I'm hoping that everyone has a great day. It was nice talking with you, Andrew.
Hope you're enjoying your Wednesday morning. I'm First Alert meteorologist Riley Winch, and look at this super 7-day forecast. We're saying hello to the 80s today. 80 degrees across the Mid-South is that forecast high. And notice starting off the day, temperatures in the 60s, but we are going to be warming up into the 70s by noontime. And look at the clouds. We're mostly cloudy throughout the morning, but after we head towards lunch, that's when we start to see a couple more breaks of sunshine and mostly sunny skies as we end the day, as highs get up to the 80-degree mark between that 3 and 5 p.m. hour. And tomorrow gets even warmer out there. 86 degrees for a forecast high, mostly sunny skies as well. So that forecast high is 86. That is expected to tie a record high of 86 set back in 1907. This is about the third day of the past 7 days that we're talking about potential of breaking record highs that have existed for over 100 years. So this week's heat is a little bit different out there than what we are typically used to. Now, what is going to be causing this very warm weather? Well, notice we have this low pressure system that's off to the north, and that's helping to bring in a southerly wind today to the Mid-South. That helps get us up to the 80-degree mark. But by the time we head towards tomorrow, that southerly wind is in full force, and that brings near record highs ahead of this cold front right here. So we see those red arrows bring the wind from the south, southwest. That is going to bring in some humidity. That's going to bring in some warm weather as well, getting up into the mid-80s for highs before the cold front moves through. Cools us off as we head into Friday. Some showers are possible as we're heading home from work, heading home from school Friday evening, but it's not going to be a widespread heavy rain that means you have to wash out all your Friday evening activities. Just keep the rain jacket nearby for some of those spotty showers around the area, and you will have some dry periods to get out and enjoy the weather before we're on the cooler side. We see lots of sunshine Saturday, but we are cooler out there because of this high taking over, and that brings in a breeze from the northeast into the Mid-South. Because of that, we're talking about Saturday being the coldest day of the next week. And by Sunday, we get more of that southerly wind ahead of this next low pressure system. That'll bring warm weather to end March as we head into April. So what does this look like in terms of numbers? Well, as we head into Friday, again, that 30% chance of rain is coming in the form of a spotty shower during the evening hours. Highs getting up into the 70s after starting off in the 60s and upper 50s for a good portion of the area. And we see some bits of sunshine to start off Friday morning. It's as that front moves through. We're talking about a couple of those showers as we head into Friday evening, a little bit more cloud cover as well. But we aren't expecting these showers to, again, be very widespread. They're going to just be spread out, scattered like little areas of popcorn across the region as we head towards Friday evening. And then as we head into the overnight hours, we are going to be talking about a little bit of clearing. That turns into a lot of clearing as we head into the day Saturday. 62 degrees. That is the high temperature Saturday, and most of the day really in the 50s, waking up in the 40s. It's going to be chilly out there. You want to have that extra layer of clothing. We're talking about maybe a sweatshirt or not quite a winter hat. I mean, for me, maybe with my head, I'll wear the winter hat on a day like Saturday, but it all depends on what you need to get out the door. And as we head into Sunday, we just talked about the winds coming from the south again. High of 75 degrees, lots of sunshine. Look at Monday. back up into the 80s. Last day of March 2026, we're in the 80s for highs as well. Maybe a couple more clouds. We'll be watching midweek for the potential for maybe increased shower chances across the region. But we are talking about overall dry conditions to end March. But notice as we head into that first week of April, we start to see a little bit more of an unsettled pattern. All that green indicates areas where there's above average chances here at precipitation. So we'll be watching those trends closely again as we head into that first week of April. But we are expected to remain on the warm side overall. Above average temperatures are likely across the mid-south and the heartland of the country as we head towards that first week of April. And we see those above average temperatures come up in our 10-day forecast. High in the 80s as we wrap up the month of March, but also to kick off the month of April before potentially getting a little bit cooler by next weekend. But that's something we'll be tracking all week and weekend long here at First Alert Weather.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. We are in the middle of spring break season, and there is a new campaign I want to tell you about. It's called Sun, Suds, and Stitches. It is a campaign all around spring break travel safety. Joining me on the Action News 5 Digital Desk, I have the pleasure to be joined by Dr. Kevin Freely. He's a physician, emergency room medical doctor. He's also chief of staff at Orlando Health Melbourne Hospital. Joining us on the digital desk, Kevin, good morning to you. Tell me about this campaign and some of the pitfalls that are out there. Good morning.
First, thanks for having me. Look, at Orlando Health, we're just trying to bring awareness to spring break safety tips. We basically piloted into three main topics: the weather, water, and what I call extracurricular activities. With the weather, look, everybody wants that golden suntan, those long beach days. If you want to apply sunscreen, reapply sunscreen. You want to watch out for dehydration and heat-related illnesses. Hydrate, rehydrate with water. Also, you need to be aware of medications that you're taking that cause dehydration or heat-related illnesses faster. And in the water, look, if you go swimming, have a swim buddy. If you can't swim, wear a life jacket. You don't want to wear a life jacket. Do not go above your waist. I also want to be aware of swimming pools, right? If you've got little kiddos, they need to be fenced. They are not fenced. You need to assign an adult to those pools and those kids. Unfortunately, I've spent too many times crying with families that have lost kids in pools. I always say ocean is unforgiving. Rip currents are deadly, right? The extracurricular, I think this is where we see most of the patients in our department. It's about those not necessarily great decisions. You don't want to go car surfing, climb balconies. You don't want to overconsume alcohol or drink and drive. You need to be acutely aware of traffic signs, speed limits, right? Biggest thing is just be smart and get home safe.
Good advice there, Kevin. I know that there's a lot of preventable injuries. I call them unforced errors out there. From your perspective in the emergency room, where do you see the biggest issues? I mean, you're kind of right in the heart of spring break travel there, Orlando, on the coast there. You're at Cocoa Beach right now. I mean, what do you see most common where people could prevent these kind of injuries?
Yeah, so I would say the most common are the dehydration, heat-related illnesses, swimming accidents, boating accidents, and motor vehicle accidents, which also are associated with spikes, right? People overconsume alcohol and they stay out in the sun all day. not a good idea. They swim and consume alcohol. Should not do that. You should also always have a swim buddy and an accountability partner. And then, of course, you don't want to drink and drive, right? You don't want to climb these balconies. You don't want to go park surfing. It's really not that cool.
Yeah, I agree with you. And, there's a lot of, forget about the college spring break crowd for a moment. I mean, there are a lot of families that take breaks and go down to Florida, for example, for those just to get away for a week. And there are also some of these issues that relate to them. What else do you see when it comes to, I don't know, I guess, younger children?
Absolutely. Look, kids are curious, right? The biggest thing with kids are the ocean and the pools, right? And then, just because families are down doesn't mean that the college spring breakers aren't down there with them, okay? You need to be acutely aware of your surroundings. You need to be prepared for the vacation before you go, and then you need to be prepared during the vacation.
I know you mentioned this a little bit off the top, but there's a big five when it comes to vacation injury patterns. Can you talk a little bit about that again? I think that's good, solid advice for folks.
Yeah. So again, it's that dehydration, heat-related illnesses, swimming accidents, boating accidents, and then alcohol-related injuries. I would say those are the biggest five that we see.
Okay, final thoughts before we let you go, because you mentioned all those things. You mentioned the water, the alcohol, the sun, the heat, unforced errors, preventable injuries. Anything else, Kevin, before we let you go?
Look, we want people to come down here and have fun, right? Spring break is a big economy booster for our area, right? But while they're down here enjoying themselves, we want them to be smart, but most of all, get home safe.
Good advice, Dr. Kevin Friels with Orlando Health Melbourne Hospital. Please give my best to Christy. I appreciate you coming on the Action News 5 Digital Desk. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. And we just got finished with the Heart Ball. That is the American Heart Association's largest fundraiser of the year. Once again, I was honored enough to be one of the co-MCs for an amazing event which raises money for the American Heart Association. They do so many things to help Memphis and the Mid-South and really brings up the necessity to talk about heart disease and ways to prevent it. I'm joined on the Action News 5 Digital Desk by Marcus Young. He is joining me here, a board member of the American Heart Association, to talk more about what this month means. February is such an important month for heart health, for reminders for everybody out there. Where do you want to begin, Marcus? Good morning.
Hey, Andrew, first of all, thank you for having us, giving us this opportunity. February is important, as you said. It gives us a time to focus on heart health and actions that can truly save lives in the Mid-South. Me personally, I'm a heart attack survivor. I'm 8 years of overcoming a near fatal heart attack, which led me to start doing work with the association and spread these messages.
Wow. Well, you know what? God bless you, Marcus. I could not tell, and I'm glad that you are here with us on the digital desk talking about your story, and maybe your story can enlighten some others out there. Marcus, tell me more about your heart attack and how you survived it, and what's changed now with you, and how you keep your healthy level at an optimum level.
Sure. So I was born with a heart condition. I was given 30 days to live, born nearly 4 months premature. So I've lived my entire life with a heart condition, but over time I've learned to normalize it and to deal with my symptoms. And it was in my 30s when it finally caught up with me. I did not do what I needed to do all those years, even though I stopped numerous times with cardiology visits, eating right, exercising. But as we all do from time to time, I stopped doing some of those things. And one day in the summer of 2017, I was playing kickball, and I just thought I was having some heating situations happen with overheating, pollen in the air, and I started to have non-traditional symptoms. But for me, I was like, something's not right. Well, I started to have a little shortness of breath. I had a hard time even walking, and it was hours later that I decided to go to the hospital. And when I got to the hospital, they did a series of tests, and it was about 12 hours that I had an active heart attack event and did not know it, Andrew. And I remember waking up from the operating table, and they told me, we don't know how you survived. You had 100% blockage on one side, and thankfully, my previous heart condition gave me a blessing in disguise that allowed me to stay alive long enough for a stent to be placed. So it took some time to recover. I started exercising more. I changed my diet for a year and a half and went completely vegan with my diet. That is no longer the case for me, managing things a lot more appropriately, obviously with medication as well. I got to do better exercise, and that's probably my Achilles heel. So it's one of those things where you always have to do things in moderation, but pay attention to your body, pay attention to symptoms you may have, and take your doctor's visit seriously.
Wow. Marcus, I really appreciate you sharing and opening it up with us here on the digital desk, and so glad that you were able to get help when you needed, and what a blessing to have you here. And so I really think your story will help others out there. Any lasting bits of information you would like to say to just the greater Memphis, Mid-South area about your story of survival, overcoming a heart attack and a heart condition, and what other people should do in order to safeguard against something like that happening to them?
You know, I didn't know this until I paid attention. Heart disease remains the leading cause of death for adults. Cardiac emergencies happen at home, at work, public places where immediate action really matters most. So when someone collapses from cardiac arrest, seconds matter. I didn't have a cardiac arrest, I had a heart attack, but those seconds matter. And care is important to be received from first responders. And those seconds make a big difference between life or death. So what the Heart Association is doing, we're trying to be the safest community in America here in the Mid-South by empowering people every day to know how to act when those emergencies happen. So we're encouraging folks to go out, talk with your employer, talk with your places that you frequent often, whether it's your church, community centers, public places like restaurants, and make sure they have an AED available, artificial or automated external defibrillators. If not, make sure you and your loved ones at least are trained in hands-only CPR so you know what to do in those situations. So AHA is working with schools, businesses, community spaces to develop what we call CERPs. So those are cardiac emergency response plans. So as we said, seconds matter, and every second counts when you have those emergencies. So what does that look like in real life? So we're talking about parents, teachers, coworkers, students becoming the first line of response until those true first responders can arrive. communities that don't freeze in a crisis, they know how to respond quickly and confidently to save lives. And having these plans in place, practicing drills just like you do with tornadoes, fire, earthquake, can make a big difference. So the big thing we, as a heart association, board, community, and getting involved with our local stakeholders, are encouraging you to learn hands-only CPR. Talk with your school, talk with your workplace about what emergency response plans currently exist. And if not, see how you can make those happen. And if you have a desire to get involved with the American Heart Association, reach out to us, let us know. And we're open to having those conversations and increasing not only the awareness, but response plans and giving us a chance to save more lives.
Marcus Young, well put. Really appreciate you taking a few minutes on the Action News 5 digital desk to not only tell your story, but also talk about the need for more and more people to learn CPR and in an effort to make us all safer throughout Memphis and the Mid-South. We appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ed.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Action News 5 digital desk. I want to tell you about a very impressive young man. He has got a big, big goal, and that goal is to cycle cross country across the United States, all while raising money for people with disabilities. In fact, he's got a campaign going on right now. These are some pictures of this kind of campaign. It's called Journey of Hope. And he is a sophomore at the University of Mississippi. I'm happy to be joined on the Action News 5 digital desk by Nathan One. He is someone that is going to cycle cross country later this year, and he is right now trying to raise enough money to not only support his cycling, but raise money for disabilities, people with disabilities. So, Nathan, it's nice to meet you. First off, tell me about this this journey that you're on, this journey of hope, how you're getting started, how it's going right now, and what your goal is. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much, Andrew, for having me. So the Journey of Hope is our biggest philanthropy for my fraternity, Pi Kappa Phi at Ole Miss. The Journey of Hope is our philanthropy event that hosts every summer, which 50 to 60 Pi Caps around the world who sign up cycle across from all the way from San Francisco, California, and end at Washington, D.C. for people with disabilities. And we do this to raise awareness. And our philanthropy, this is hosted by the Ability Experience. That is our philanthropy. And our goal is to uplift the disability community through summer camp renovations, inclusive athletic events, and community outreach programs, and making meaningful relationships on the way. And my training has been going good. At first, when I started in October, I was really struggling just by cycling with 1 mile. But then as time went by with the Strava program that these coaches from the Journey of Hope gave me, I've been improving every day. And so I'm really grateful that to be part of this incredible mission for this as well.
Okay, so Nathan, tell me about this journey that you're going to take. You're going to start. Are you starting on the West Coast, San Francisco, California area, then going to DC? Tell me about it.
Yes, so it's a 65-day process. It starts around June 5th and it ends in, I believe, August 17th. And we start from San Francisco and we will be going from state to state. So San Francisco, Nevada, Utah, Colorado, Nebraska, Iowa, straight to Chicago, and then down to Washington, D.C. So it's going to be across the world, across the country in a very, very long trip. But I signed up for this, and I'm very grateful to be part of this journey as well.
Yeah, I can see that. And so these are pictures of previous cross-country treks, is that
Yes.
right? And then there are some of there, I can see the nation's capital behind one of those fraternity members who've made the trek. There they are starting out there in San Francisco. And so the money raised, where does it go exactly?
So the money that we raise goes towards our philanthropy, the Ability Experience. Like I said before, the Ability Experience is a philanthropy where it helps the disability community. So our goal for every biker that is participating is to raise money. And the strategy I've been doing to raise money is I've been going to many organizations, in the news like as well. I've also had the privilege of going to WTBA News as well and sharing this, and going to sorority houses, going to their chapter meetings and asking for donations and promoting this event as well. So this has been a great opportunity to showcase my philanthropy strategies as well. And yes, and so all our money that we collect goes towards the Ability Experience and trying to make a difference for people with disabilities and for the disability community.
Okay, and you are trying to raise $30,000 before June, is that
Yes.
right?
Yes, $30,000.
Okay, and someone might be watching this right now, because we have thousands of people who watch each and every morning, and they might want to kind of learn more about your experience and where the money raised goes towards, and how they can root you on, Nathan, in this long cross country trek. Where can they go to just kind of see your journey?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for asking that. I've been actually posting on my social media, on my reels, about each of my journeys of which organizations I've had the privilege to talk to, especially with you guys as well. And so I've been just following my social media page. I'll keep everyone updated with my Journey of Hope campaign as well. And on my Instagram, I've been uploading, and on my fundraiser page as well, that I will be sent on the link soon. You can click on that, just read about why I'm doing this, and if people want to donate, that'll be amazing as well. Any dollars a privilege. Any dollars, I'm grateful, because it helps not just my fundraiser page, but also to the disability community as well.
Tell me what kind of training you have to undergo in order to really be able to experience. I mean, this is a 2-month process. You're going from June to August. You're going to be cycling how many miles? Thousands? Several thousand? What is it?
3 to 4,000 miles, I believe,
Whew.
is around that. It's a lot. It's a lot. And I've signed up, and that's what I signed up for, and I'm prepared for it and very grateful to be part of it.
Okay, great. Anything else before we let you go, Nathan? I can tell that you're very goal-oriented, and you're ready to rock and roll this come June. Anything else you want to let our audience know before we let you go?
Just thank you so much for having me, and every dollar fuels possibility. Every dollar makes a difference for our philanthropy and for the disability community as well. And so, for anyone watching this and that wants to donate, please absolutely feel free, or if not, just come and read my articles, read my newspapers, just read or look into my social media, and I want to have people just be intrigued and inspired of why I'm doing this, and maybe some other Pi Kappa Phi's, whether in my chapter or others across the country, would want to sign up and do this next year.
What do you want to do after you graduate, Nathan? Just curious.
I'm an entrepreneurship major. Some with philanthropy would be amazing as well, and or like build a business. That would be amazing as well too. So some like philanthropy or entrepreneurship, definitely interested in.
All right, Ole Miss sophomore Nathan One getting ready for his big journey cross country, raising money for people with disabilities. Nathan, a pleasure meeting you. Good luck on your trek, and good luck raising funds for a great cause. We appreciate your time on the Digital Desk. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. Have a great
Hope you're enjoying your Wednesday morning. I'm First Alert meteorologist Riley Winch, and look at this super 7-day forecast. We're saying hello to the 80s today. 80 degrees across the Mid-South is that forecast high. And notice starting off the day, temperatures in the 60s, but we are going to be warming up into the 70s by noontime. And look at the clouds. We're mostly cloudy throughout the morning, but after we head towards lunch, that's when we start to see a couple more breaks of sunshine and mostly sunny skies as we end the day, as highs get up to the 80-degree mark between that 3 and 5 p.m. hour. And tomorrow gets even warmer out there. 86 degrees for a forecast high, mostly sunny skies as well. So that forecast high is 86. That is expected to tie a record high of 86 set back in 1907. This is about the third day of the past 7 days that we're talking about potential of breaking record highs that have existed for over 100 years. So this week's heat is a little bit different out there than what we are typically used to. Now, what is going to be causing this very warm weather? Well, notice we have this low pressure system that's off to the north and that's helping to bring in a southerly wind today to the Mid-South. That helps get us up to the 80-degree mark. But by the time we head towards tomorrow, that southerly wind is in full force, and that brings near record highs ahead of this cold front right here. So we see those red arrows bring the wind from the south, southwest. That is going to bring in some humidity. That's going to bring in some warm weather as well, getting up into the mid-80s for highs before the cold front moves through. Cools us off as we head into Friday. Some showers are possible as we're heading home from work, heading home from school Friday evening, but it's not going to be a widespread heavy rain that means you have to wash out all your Friday evening activities. Just keep the rain jacket nearby for some of those spotty showers around the area, and you will have some dry periods to get out and enjoy the weather before we're on the cooler side. We see lots of sunshine Saturday, but we are cooler out there because of this high taking over, and that brings in a breeze from the northeast into the Mid-South. Because of that, we're talking about Saturday being the coldest day of the next week. And by Sunday, we get more of that southerly wind ahead of this next low pressure system. That'll bring warm weather to end March as we head into April. So what does this look like in terms of numbers? Well, as we head into Friday, again, that 30% chance of rain is coming in the form of a spotty shower during the evening hours. Highs getting up into the 70s after starting off in the 60s and upper 50s for a good portion of the area. And we see some bits of sunshine to start off Friday morning. It's as that front moves through. We're talking about a couple of those showers as we head into Friday evening, a little bit more cloud cover as well. But we aren't expecting these showers to, again, be very widespread. They're going to just be spread out, scattered like little areas of popcorn across the region as we head towards Friday evening. And then as we head into the overnight hours, we are going to be talking about a little bit of clearing. That turns into a lot of clearing as we head into the day Saturday. 62 degrees. That is the high temperature Saturday, and most of the day really in the 50s, waking up in the 40s. It's going to be chilly out there. You want to have that extra layer of clothing. We're talking about maybe a sweatshirt or not quite a winter hat. I mean, for me, maybe with my head, I'll wear the winter hat on a day like Saturday. But it all depends on what you need to get out the door. And as we head into Sunday, we just talked about the winds coming from the south again. High of 75 degrees, lots of sunshine. Look at Monday, back up into the 80s. Last day of March 2026, we're in the 80s for highs as well. Maybe a couple more clouds. We'll be watching midweek for the potential for maybe increased shower chances across the region. But we are talking about overall dry conditions to end March. But notice as we head into that first week of April, we start to see a little bit more of an unsettled pattern. All that green indicates areas where there's above average chances here at precipitation. So we'll be watching those trends closely again as we head into that first week of April. But we are expected to remain on the warm side overall. Above average temperatures are likely across the Mid-South and the heartland of the country as we head towards that first week of April. And we see those above average temperatures come up in our 10-day forecast. In the 80s as we wrap up the month of March, but also to kick off the month of April before potentially getting a little bit cooler by next weekend. But that's something we'll be tracking all week and weekend long here at First Alert Weather.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. The Orpheum Theater Group's downtown campus, so that consists of the Halloran Center, the Orpheum Theater. They're undergoing an exterior renovation that you're going to be seeing more and more of, this revitalization project. Let's get an update on the project, what to expect, and what it's going to look like when it's done. I'm joined on the Action News 5 Digital Desk by Daiquiri Baptiste. She is the Vice President and COO of Orpheum Theater Group, joining us on the Digital Desk. Daiquiri, good morning to you. So tell me about the ideas behind this. Was it something that just it needed time? It was time to get this so-called facelift? Good morning.
Good morning. How are you today? The whole project really just stemmed from wanting the city to understand that both the Halloran Center and the Orpheum Theater are the same organization. We are a campus. We're not two standalone buildings. And we wanted our audience, our patrons, and just downtown residents to understand that we have a space not just inside of our doors, but outside of our doors.
Okay, and so I have some renderings here. Talk me through what we're seeing here, and is this what it's going to look like?
That is the goal. Yes, this is exactly what it's going to look like. From our board of directors to our president to our esteemed staff and team, we recognize that we have a lot of blank canvases that we want to paint with places to gather. So the Main Street Plaza is going to be phase one is what we're calling it. You'll see a huge O that will shape the space. We want to create some Instagrammable moments, and we felt like that O that everyone is so familiar with in our name should be one of those landing spots. We're also going to do some illumination and add more lighting out in our spaces and add some seating so that it is welcoming. People may want to walk by, sit out there and have a lunch and just be right there on Main Street, and or right before a performance, you want to have people to come downtown to say, hey, meet me at the O, meet me in the middle between the Orpheum and the Halloran before we enter one of the spaces. We've already added some lights that was across Beale Street last year, which is again also helping with adding more light, more gathering, if you will, around our spaces. Phase two of our project will take place on the corner of Beale and Front Street in the back of our building. That's the image you're seeing there. Again, another infamous O, a big splash on the back of our campus, which is currently now just a basic parking lot. We hope to do engagement opportunities in both of those spaces, and more particularly in the back on the front and Beale corner.
What brought this about? Is it just one of those things where, hey, look, it's time to upgrade a little bit?
That's exactly it. We recognize that we've done a lot of improvements inside of our spaces. The Halloran Center is only 10 years old. The Orpheum will be 100 years old in 2028. And we just decided that it made sense to do things that were outside, just so we didn't look so bare, if you will. We took it upon ourselves to want to do this, to be good neighbors.
So many people have enjoyed the Orpheum over many years, the Halloran Center over the last 10 years, as you mentioned. Does it mean that they're going to close at any point, or are they going to lose seats or anything like that?
Not at all. Our goal always with all of our projects is to have continuous business continuity. So working with our contractors and our architects, along with our programming that we do inside, the goal here is to not be able to stop business. We may have some signs that say, pardon our disturbance, pardon our construction, and with safe ways to walk around while it's going on. But there's no reason to believe that we will have to stop our operations that we're currently doing in order to complete these projects.
Okay, great. So what's the timetable for all this?
Well, phase one, which is the Main Street campus, we're slotted to start that work from a construction standpoint late November, early December, with a hopeful completion date by middle to late spring. And then phase two will start shortly thereafter, hopefully in Q4 of 2026, to then hopefully be completed preferably in that same timeline. But the ultimate goal is that by November of 2028, when we'll be celebrating the 100th anniversary of the Orpheum Theater, all of this work will be done, and our our campus will not just be vibrant on the inside, but be fully activated on the outside, welcoming people not just to shows, Broadway, or music, but anything we could possibly imagine outside.
Fantastic. Okay, so anything else you wanted to mention to our audience? We have thousands of people who join us each and every morning.
I just want to say thank you so much for already being patrons of the arts that enter our spaces. And please spread the word. Please know that the Orpheum Theater Group is here to celebrate the city of Memphis, and that we want to, with these projects, be able to lift up even more artists in our spaces.
Fantastic. All right, Daiquiri Baptiste, we appreciate you coming on the digital desk and telling us about this exciting project that'll really transform that whole area, the downtown theater district, if you will, for November 2028, the 100th anniversary of the Orpheum. I love it. Thanks for coming on the digital desk. We appreciate your time. Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, nearly half of all adults in the U.S. have hypertension. We already know that heart disease is the #1 killer, #1 for all adults, men and women. The good news is heart disease, cardiovascular disease, it's preventable through various things: lifestyle changes, exercise, nutrition, stress management, and community. Joining me now on the Action News 5 Digital Desk, I'm joined by Dalton Mabry. He's a certified personal trainer at Lifetime Fitness in Collierville to talk about heart health and what we can do not only inside the gym, but outside the gym. So, Dalton, where do you want to begin? Because heart disease is such a problem across the country, and of course here in the Mid-South. I guess some people might feel intimidated about going to the gym sometimes if they haven't been in a while. Where do you recommend people begin with all of this? Good morning.
Good morning. Pleasure to be here. There's a few ways that you can begin on this journey to reduce hypertension or to prevent yourself from attaining this. Now, of course, you know, with exercise, you could get involved in some form of aerobic activity. All you really need is at least 20 minutes a day, just moving around a bit. You could be going outside to the park and walk around. If you're a member at Lifetime, you can participate in some of our Alpha GTX conditioning classes. When it comes to nutrition, there's a few things you can do as well there that are pretty simple, you know, increasing hydration, increasing your fiber intake. You could use oats for that, or spongy fruits like apples and pears. And there are fiber supplements you can take as well, like psyllium husk, or Lifetime branded. We have Shift that we use here, that's been able to help a lot of people, you know, regulate their bodies.
You know, I love it, and those are all excellent ideas, but sometimes, you know, if someone's watching out there, and we have thousands who watch Dalton each and every morning, they might say, well, gosh, you know, I don't know where to begin. I haven't been to a gym in years. You know, I don't know what to do. What do you tell those people that feel like this is really intimidating for them and they don't know, I guess you could say, they don't know the ABCs about nutrition or health? They want to look better, feel younger, have more energy, but they don't know where to begin.
Well, there's a lot of ways you could go about that. If you were to talk with myself or one of our other expert trainers here, we'd be able to give you a guide, perhaps a programmable way to pursue getting better in your health, pursuing that aerobic activity, getting involved in weight training, which is beneficial as well. Now, of course, there's another way to get involved, whether in the gym or out of the gym, and that's with building a community. Being around people, like-minded people, whether it be your family or your friends or with your coach, those are going to be ways that are going to improve your success getting involved in the gym. It takes a little bit of that fear away when you got somebody else who's got the same goals as you.
No question about it. I think the last time we talked, Dalton, I always thought that, especially for me, when I have a partner that I'm working out with, they hold you accountable. Even those days where you don't want to go to the gym, they're like, hey, I'm already here, let's go. And I like what you said, just 20 minutes a day moving around, doing something is beneficial. And so let's talk about some of the other aspects. I know I know sleep's a big deal when it comes to just becoming healthier, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Typically, you'd want to get at least 7 hours of sleep. 7 to 9 is best for most people. If you're getting less than that, you're putting yourself at risk of high blood pressure, weight gain, or general inflammation. Now, all of those things are mitigated by good sleep, good quality sleep.
Let's do a little bit more on the diet, because I think sometimes, sometimes people get lost in that, or they have a cheat day and they're not really sure what's good, what's not. It may say nutritious, but in actuality, it's not, right?
Yeah, there's a few things you want to avoid, trans fat and such, things that are processed. If your food's in a bag or in a box, you may want to, get away from that and spend more time eating some whole foods, lean meats like fish and chicken, increasing your healthy fats with avocado and, salmon, for example, is a great fatty fish. That's really good for that as well. Increasing your grains, your whole grains, oatmeal. I advocate oatmeal.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of oatmeal myself. Stress management. A lot of us are under a lot of pressure, stress. What about that?
Yeah, well, a good thing about mitigating the stress is that a lot of that changes whenever you do increase your physical activity or improve your nutrition, get enough sleep. If you're working on those three key elements, then that's what's going to help reduce that cortisol and reduce that stress. That's going to help you long term.
Yeah, good advice there. Anything else we want to touch on before we let you go? This has been good.
I just want to say, there's a lot of avenues and there's a bit of nuance when it comes to, getting in the gym or getting involved with some form of nutritional changes. But just take it one step at a time. You don't have to change everything. You could start by adding a little bit of healthy fat, a little bit of olive oil in your food, or maybe adding a fruit and a veggie to all of your meals. And then you just build upon that, maybe getting in the gym once a week, doing some form of resistance or weight training. You go from there, and it's going to snowball into a lifestyle change.
I like that. Just a few consistent habits, and then you're able to set the foundation and then grow from there. Appreciate that. All right, Dalton Mabry, certified personal trainer at Lifetime Fitness in Collierville. We appreciate your time on the digital desk. Great advice there for anyone trying to improve their heart health. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. Loneliness and veterans' suicidal thoughts, well, they are on the increase. According to the Wounded Warrior Project's latest warrior survey, I should say, more than 1 in 4 wounded warriors, had suicidal thoughts within the past 12 months. Research shows that strong social ties not only improve quality of life, but also serve as a critical protective factor against these kinds of things. How is mental health among our veterans? It's so important to check up on them. Joining me on the Action News 5 Digital Desk, I'm going to talk more about this topic with a couple of people. I have Jacob Narowski. He's an Army veteran. He's a warrior there. I also am joined by Lindsay Tekat. She's a mental and brain health services director for the Wounded Warrior Project. Thank you for both of you joining us here on the Digital Desk. Jacob, I want to begin with you. Tell us about your mental journey. Good morning.
Good morning. You know, my mental journey really is, it's long. It's years. It's over 14 years spent hanging out the side of a Black Hawk helicopter in austere places all over the world, and seeing and experiencing things that most of us never even dream of. And then coming home, and you come home and those experiences become memories, become stories that come home with you. And so trying to find my place in the world here as a dad, as a husband, as a community member is difficult when you're still kind of holding on to or carrying those memories that come with you. And so it's been so important for me on this journey that people have found me, friends that have kind of carried me through those moments and given me the opportunity to carry them, and just to begin to build a life of connection over this journey.
Well, first off, I appreciate everything that you and your family have done for this country, what you've sacrificed, because there's so many veterans that sacrifice so much to defend what this country stands for overseas. How important was human connection to your overall recovery, Jacob?
Human connection for me, and like for so many other veterans, is absolutely vital. There has to be somebody that tells you when the demons are lying, as I sometimes say. You have to have people around you that can remind you of your worth, remind you that you're important, that you still have a mission, that there's still more for you to do. And so for me, having those brothers and sisters nearby and having those check-ins has just been absolutely vital. And then learning that I can be the one checking on them as well.
Lindsay, I want to thank you, Jacob. Lindsay, I want to talk with you. And listen, Wounded Warrior Project, it is such an amazing organization. And thank you for all that you do for all the veterans out there. You work specifically in the mental and brain health services. Tell me, when it comes to the biggest challenges that veterans face, what are some of those big challenges out there?
Yeah, great question. So if you take when somebody's transitioning back into civilian life and you look at some of those challenges, you have a situation where somebody was in a very structured environment. They had a support system built in of folks that were like-minded, that they can relate to and are doing the same things. And they had a clear sense of mission and purpose. And then that disappears. They then start to transition out. They lose that sense of purpose. They lose that sense of mission while they're trying to navigate, where are my benefits? What is my family dynamics, my financial situation? What's going to be my next job? And that can be a very overwhelming time for a veteran. And they may also be experiencing, symptoms of PTSD on top of that. And so having connection during that time is going to be so critical. Having that support system of like-minded individuals that might be going through it with you, or that have already went through it and can help shepherd, or as Jake said, be the one carrying you. You mentioned our survey. Our survey showed that for wounded warriors who had listed isolation or that lack of connection as a symptom that they were experiencing, they were 3 times more likely to have had suicidal thoughts in the past 12 months. So connection is key.
No question about it. Jake, I really appreciate you opening up, telling your story to help others. Lindsay, quickly, where can, if perhaps one of our viewers has a family member who's struggling right now, where can they go for help?
I think it's great that you mentioned family member, right? You do not have to be a mental health expert to help somebody who's struggling or to help yourself if you're struggling. I'd recommend going to woundedwarriorproject.org. We're there to support. We stand by ready to connect you to programs, connect you to services, and help build that foundation of connection.
All right, Jacob and Lindsay, we appreciate your time here on the Digital Desk. God bless you both, and thank you for your time.
Hope you're enjoying your Wednesday morning. I'm First Alert meteorologist Riley Winch, and look at this super 7-day forecast. We're saying hello to the 80s today. 80 degrees across the Mid-South is that forecast high. And notice starting off the day, temperatures in the 60s, but we are going to be warming up into the 70s by noontime. And look at the clouds. We're mostly cloudy throughout the morning, but after we head towards lunch, that's when we start to see a couple more breaks of sunshine and mostly sunny skies as we end the day, as highs get up to the 80-degree mark between that 3 and 5 p.m. hour. And tomorrow gets even warmer out there. 86 degrees for a forecast high, mostly sunny skies as well. So that forecast high is 86. That is expected to tie a record high of 86 set back in 1907. This is about the third day of the past 7 days that we're talking about potential of breaking record highs that have existed for over 100 years. So this week's heat is a little bit different out there than what we are typically used to. Now, what is going to be causing this very warm weather? Well, notice we have this low pressure system that's off to the north and that's helping to bring in a southerly wind today to the Mid-South. That helps get us up to the 80-degree mark. But by the